Hello, Tavins. It's a beautiful week, and here is a market update for you. In our last update, we talked about shorts in the market, and we gave reasons why we're currently short on the market and what to expect. Now, if you did follow that video, we talked about how far the market could go, how far some altcoins will go, and also BTC. And we're going to be looking back at that and seeing again what are we expecting from the market. Now, if you've been following, we talked about the BTC block roll from around 28,000 to 31,000. Now, that is one major point we've always talked about, that we need to either sustain for a bullish movement or a decline out of that zone will lead us into a much more, even greater bearish movement. Now, we're seeing that we've been able to touch the 31,300, but we did have a quick rejection around there because there's a lot of sell force happening around this area, and we've just been hovering around that same zone for quite the past couple of days. Now, today, with the market opens and all of that is going to determine how well or how far traders are willing to hold this zone around here. But there are two things we need to take note of. Number one is if we do break beyond the zone, so the downward movement, we're going to be trending back downward to the 25K areas again. And if we cannot hold that, then we're going to be seeing a maximum bearish movement that is going to be happening again. Now, sustaining the zone, like we said in the last video, is going to keep BTC in the same momentum up to 38,800. Now, that is another super high sell zone that if the market does get there, is going to trigger a lot of sell position also. That will also bring the market downwards again. So those are two things we need to look forward to, how the market does react during the open as relates to how traders are willing to hold onto this zone, or if there's going to be a sell-off that is going to trigger a lot downwards. Now, we want to look also at the money flow for BTC. If we look at the money flow, why we see that the market is still bullish, the market is still going fine, but when you look closely to the money flow, we're already losing a lot of liquidity out of BTC. Now, we're about entering our bearish trends line on the money zone. So that is something to quite watch out for. Once we do break into this bearish zone, that is going to cause a lot of forced sell on BTC, and in turn also trigger sell on altcoin. Why we're looking at the altcoin money flow, and there's still not much happening there. We're still very bullish around there, but a force into the bearish zone for BTC is also going to trigger the same happening on altcoins. So we're going to see a lot of altcoins also losing their value. Now, if you look at the USDT money flow, we're still back at the same support area right here, and where we're already finding a pullback upward. And so we're already seeing a bounce happening around here. Now, with that continued trend, we're going to see a bounce back into the bullish zone for USDT, and that will be triggering a lot of all the altcoins and BTC down, deep down into the bearish zone. So those are two things to watch out for. Now, what is a trade direction to take? Once again, we're still short now, but that short is going to be invalidated if BTC is able to sustain this 31K zone and move towards 32, 33K and is able to withhold that. Then we're going to be calling off that because a lot of altcoins are going to rip to the roof crazily. So we're going to call off that. Now, the beautiful thing about the 2.0 martingale structure is how it does the capital spread. So if such scenario even does happen, you will not be having things like liquidation like we find in other people trading with other platforms. We're going to look at that shortly. If we look at the liquidation index past 24 hours, it's been crazy on a lot of altcoins, even BTC. And the past couple of days, you see a lot of 80% shorts liquidation being closed out of the market, being wiped out. But none of that is happening on Tafabot users' account. Now, when that does happen, if the market triggers to the bullish direction, now what is going to happen is that your bot is also going to manage that with the capital spread. So you're not expecting a liquidation that's not possible, or even a stop loss now, because your capital spread is so good to cover up the market despite how far it can go. So if you're already trading, you already see that in effect in most of the altcoins that have ripped off 50%, and you're in those markets, you see how your bot is currently handling those right now. Now, for all the market that you want to look forward to, a lot potential short. Number one of them is comp. So you want to look for a potential short on comp. comp, you can directly start up a comp trade right now into the short position. Now comp has done really bullish, not because of that, but we already see a lot of sell pressure happening with comp around the money flow zone over here. So comp is one potential short that you want to create an auto 2.0 on and start creating those shorts. Next is also MKR. MKR, we are at the October resistance zone. That is a very, very, very high resistance zone with a lot of sell orders happening around there. So you also want to look for potential shorts on MKR. So you want to create your bot on short position towards MKR. And third, we also have the 100 SES. This is already crashing really hard. As you can see over here, where we have a lot of sell pressure happening around it, but it is not done. There's a lot of sell pressure that is going to pull it around the 0.29 zone around there. So these are three markets with high potentials of shorts that you want to create. And for every other market also, you want to start getting into shorts. But as like I did say, if the market does sustain that, we're going to invalidate those shorts. When I mean invalidate, we don't necessarily need to close the trade or stop loss. We're going to set other markets on the long position that we're going to make profit from, while our short position, the bot is going to manage that trade till it gets out of that trade with just one strategy period. And then we'll be able to switch back to the long direction if the market still sustains that momentum. So these are a few things to note about the market. We're still super short right now, but that is going to be invalidated depending on how the market does sustain the BTC level around here. Why for potential shorts, you're looking at 100 SES, MKR, and comp. These were very, very good short trades that you can take. But once again, you want to take this on the auto mode due to the capital security and the spread of the capital to make sure that you're not just using this on the manual mode with high risk. You want to set it on the auto mode, and that's going to be producing a lot of profit for you. So this is going to be it for now, and we're going to keep you updated if the market does change and as it relates to what decision the market does take after now. Once again, thank you very much for watching and happy trading.